Did you know that the average homeowner spends $20,000 just to sell their house? That equity belongs in your pocket. I am Haley Anderson. I am a licensed real estate agent in East Idaho, but I advocate so big for homeowners like you that I will give you every resource that you need to sell on your own if that's what you want to do. Or even keep the equity, use me as your flat rate real estate agent with no skimp. I'll do everything a traditional agent does, but still let you save tens of thousands of dollars because it belongs to you. And I 100% believe that. So let's jump into it. I'm going to break this down into 8 overreaching step-by-steps. Also, there is a download in the description below that you can check off every step, give you links of where to go, everything. So make sure you download that below. That's going to help a lot. Step number 1 is preparation and decluttering. The greatest way to do this is start at your front door with a pen and paper in hand and write down every little thing that you notice that needs to be repaired. Anything from a small dent in the wall to paint chipping to a squeaky door, all of it. These are things that your buyer is going to really notice. And though you may have lived with these for years, it matters to your buyer and it really will show if those are repaired, it was well cared for, and just overall will give you a better value in your sale. This step is your chance to repair these things before your buyer walks into your house and starts judging it. You might as well be the first one to judge the house. Then you're gonna wanna gather your documents. This is going to be title documents, mortgage information, HOA docs, disclosures. Now there's 2 specific disclosures for East Idaho, and those are your lead-based paint disclosure form. This is a document that you only need if your home is older than 1978. If your home is newer than that, don't worry about it. The second document is a property condition disclosure form. That is something that no matter whether you're going to sign on with an agent or you're going to do it on your own, you are going to need to fill this out as the homeowner. Do not write things unless you are certain, okay? That can get you in a lot of trouble. So if you don't know something, if you question it in any way, you can write on that form, I don't know. And it is better to write that than to be uncertain and write a different answer, okay? So write, I don't know, if you really are uncertain. But if you do know the information, you do need to write it in the disclosure form. Now, a tip for this step 1, the cleaner and more prepared your house is, the better the sale will do. Do not list your home until your home is very presentable. You don't want your home to be up for the judging unless it's actually ready to be judged and somebody's going to fall in love with it. The way that I love to tell clients to do this is section off your house so that in a week or 2, you can get through the entire house. So for example, you can do the master bedroom on Monday, bathrooms on Tuesday, your kitchen and dining on Wednesday. Here's an example list that I actually recommend, but if your house doesn't fit that, change it all you want. It is a beautiful way to do it, helps you not be so overwhelmed when you get ready to go do it. Step number 2 is pricing your home right. Now this is the most important step of the entire process. And here's why. When a buyer starts their home hunt, they will scroll through Zillow, Realtor.com, social media with dozens of listings side by side. If your home is priced too high, they will skip it, assuming it's out of reach or not worth it. Or worse, they won't even see it at all because they've added in their price range as a filter and your listing won't even be shown amongst similar properties. Homes that linger on the market as well because of this make buyers wonder, what's wrong with it? In East Idaho, the average days on market is about 37. If you're far above comps, expect to double that number. This leads to price cuts, weaker offers. But on the flip side, a low-priced home may bring in quick attention, but it could still cost you thousands in equity. For example, a $350,000 home priced at $335,000, you might as well have hired the traditional agent at that point and paid the high percentage-based commission and not dealt with the stress. Reality check. Even if a buyer agrees to overpay, the lender's appraiser may not. If it doesn't appraise at the value you set, the deal can still collapse. Competitive pricing prevents those problems. So the big question is, how do you pull those comps in your area? The easiest place to get the information is Zillow. Gasp, I'm a real estate agent and I'm going to recommend Zillow. Yes, I am. Another site that you might glean information from that seems to be the secret site of real estate agents is the Snake River MLS. This is actually information that's pulling from the MLS. It's only going to be the active listings though. It doesn't give you the history, which would give you better comps, but the active listings are great. Use the site if you need more comparables. I can't stress it enough. Overpricing equals sitting on the market. Underpricing equals leaving money on the table. You want the sweet spot, so take your time in your research. My DIY FSBO package includes a pricing worksheet that will walk you through and be able to plug in all of those numbers to help you find your exact pricing. Step number 3 is marketing your property. Professional photos is honestly non-negotiable. This is not some kind of sales pitch that I'm gonna go give you. I've actually been a real estate photographer for 12 years, and I have watched the only difference that an agent changes is the image on the listing. And you either will save the sale of your home or it wrecks it. So Get the professional pictures, go the extra mile and do the video. Video is actually king of marketing. So if you really wanted to get seen and seen quickly, video is a great asset for that. But do not skip the professional photos. Then write a compelling property description. Your photos are going to tell one story. Your description should tell a completely different story. Talk about the lifestyle, not just the features of the home. You shouldn't just be bullet listing your description, okay? It's not the 3-bed, 2-bath, half an acre. You want to put in personality in this description. Talk about the things that you fell in love with. Honestly, think about the person that bought your home. Who were you when you bought your home? Talk to that person, because that person honestly will likely become who buys your home. Talk about the things that you really can't show in pictures. Talk about your HOA, added insulation. What are those bonus features that your home has that can't really be shown in the pictures? There are many places that you have access to be able to market your property, and actually honestly can become quite overwhelming. But every area is going to have their top 5. I honestly probably wouldn't do more than that. You don't need to be on every single site. You really just need to be on the sites that people are going to come to and look at properties. In East Idaho, the top 5 listing places that buyers are going to find your home are going to be Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Facebook Marketplace, believe it or not, and Craigslist. So you don't need to focus on all of them. If you're in East Idaho, those are the only 5 that you really need to be on. And obviously, the MLS is a great resource. If you're listing with an agent, you will have to have an agent representation if you are going to get on the MLS. Then you're going to want physical signs to advertise your home is for sale. One sign is going to be in your yard. Another sign is going to be on the main street, okay? You at least need the 2. A directional sign to say, hey, my house is for sale, on somewhere that is highly trafficked, pointing in the direction that your home is. And then when they get there, obviously the sign in your yard. I would suggest if you have 2 directions to get to your house, use both of them. You want it to be easy for people to get there, give them the directions so it is easy for them to see what home is for sale. If you spend your focus time in anything else, focus on the online presentation. Just because you're selling for sale by owner doesn't mean that it can't stack up to the rest of them. Step number 4, showings and open houses. Yes, I put open houses in there. Just because you're selling on your own doesn't mean you can't host an open house. Make it a party, invite your neighbors. Sometimes they're going to know somebody that is interested in buying in the area. An excuse to get together. It's a fun thing. Doesn't mean you can't hold an open house. In your showings, when people schedule showings, you need to have good flexibility. Don't make it hard for people to come see the house. That will discourage buyers so fast. Some pro tips to have great showings and tours. Open all of the blinds, turn on every light, every lamp, make it as bright and airy as you possibly can. For the scent, think of soft linen, clean smells, cotton. If you want to do a soft citrus like lemon or orange, those can be really good. I recommend when you put them in the diffuser, turn it on an hour before you're showing. Then you're going to unplug it, wrap up the cord, put it away before anybody comes. That way it seems like it's the smell of the home. It's not something that you're trying to cover up, a different smell in the home. Safety concerns for showings. You're going to want to remove anything valuable from the home. This is going to include money, jewelry. If there's been recent surgeries, remove the medications from your cabinet. That can draw the wrong type of crowd. Things like that. Just be conscious of what's in your home and things that you want to keep safe. Store them at a friend's house. They just need to be away from any of the showings that you're going to be doing. You're going to want to track who comes in and out of your house. Have a sign-up sheet. Okay, this is going to do 2 things for you. 1, you're going to know who's in and out of the house. And 2, it's going to become your list that you're going to reach out to later. They may not be your buyer, but everybody that comes to your home is going to have some feedback for you that's going to help for later showings. Some questions you can ask them are, what are things that you liked? What are things that you didn't like? You want to know the answers to those questions so that if there's things that you need to correct for the next showing, you can go ahead and do those. That brings us to step number 5, negotiations and offers. This is actually the last step that you're going to do before you get title involved. When you get an offer from your buyer, it is not just about the highest and best price. Terms can really make or break a deal. It can be earnest money, inspection timelines, agent fees, financing type. All of those are going to affect your bottom line in the end. Let me show you where those are in the form so you know exactly where you're looking when you go to see these offers. First thing you're going to notice is the big number at the top. This is going to be their overall offer number. The next number that you want to be aware of is earnest money. This money can give you an idea of how serious the buyer is because it's money that they don't necessarily get back if they're going to step out of the offer. The next one is inspection timelines. You're going to notice a small number next to each of the timelines. Those are the average time for each of those inspections. If they're asking well above that, that may be something to be concerned about. Maybe have a conversation about why they're asking for so long, but just be aware that those little numbers are the average times that people ask. The next one is financing type. The one that comes across often and people don't understand or know what it is the FHA loan. FHA loans are going to be a little more picky about the condition of your house. So know that if there is any chipping paint, any hazards that need to be repaired, those are going to come back on an FHA loan, and it's not going to go through unless those things are repaired. The lender that your buyer is using is going to require a certain level, a certain standard that you're going to have to meet. So just understand that of the FHA. There's several others. That's probably just the most common aside from your conventional loans. Last one is agent fees. This is really, really big. A lot of people don't understand how much they are honestly paying in agent fees. What percentage are they asking? Is it a whole number? You need to know all of that information so you can list all of these things out, subtract them from the offer so you know in the end how much you're going to walk out the door with. To accept an offer, you're going to put your signature on the offer, report back to the buyer, and then you're going to get title involved. Go to the title company of choice, let them know that you would like to open escrow as a for sale by owner. They're going to ask you for your property information and the offer letter. Then once they have that information, they're going to really walk you through steps that you're going to need to take according to the details that are in the offer. The details that they are going to walk you through is going to be our step number 6. This is going to be inspections and appraisals. The inspection is going to be the first deadline that you need to be aware of. Now, note that any deadline that is in your contract, if it is late for any reason, this is an opportunity for your buyer to be able to back out. Don't be late on your deadlines. Highlight them day one when you have accepted an offer so you know exactly your timeline through the entire process. When an inspection comes back, expect buyers to come back asking for certain things to be repaired. Know that you can say no to anything that they ask. However, I would keep your focus on anything that is going to matter to their lender. This is going to be structural damages, safety hazards, things that are going to hold up the loan. So you have 3 options. You can say yes to the repair, that you are going to fix it before closing. 2, you are going to give them a credit or money that they are able to take care of those repairs for them after closing. Or 3, just like we discussed, you can say no. Again, usually small cosmetic issues, don't lose the deal. Next deadline is your appraisal. If it comes in low, which means it is lower than the offer price, there are 3 things that can happen. 1, the buyer can come in with the difference in cash. This is very uncommon, but can happen. The second, you as a seller can lower the price to come down to the appraisal number. Or 3, both the seller and the buyer parties can come together and create a new deal. If the appraisal comes in low and you don't think that is accurate and right, you can go back to the comparables that you had listed out, finding your asking price, and give them to the appraiser and say, hey, these are things that I don't think that were taken into account. Can you please look at these comparables that I have pulled myself? Then they will look through them and see if the appraisal does have wiggle room of things that maybe they didn't take into account, and the appraisal can change. Understand though that when you are giving those comparables, make sure that they are past sales. The appraisal only goes off of history. It doesn't go off of active listings. If you want to get ahead of the inspections, go ahead and go get quotes from repairs that are very likely to come back on your inspection, so that when your buyer comes to you and asks you for those repairs, it gives you the negotiation power to say, I'm only going to give you XYZ because this is a quote that I have received and these are the actual numbers. Step number 7, close the sale. This whole process from your offer to the closing table can take, in East Idaho, it's around 30 to 45 days. You meet on your own with your title agent and sign your life away, as they say, and then the sale is closed. If you want all the checklists, templates, step-by-step tools that I've mentioned through this video, grab my DIY FSBO package below so you can put the best foot forward. Or if this sounds like it's too much time, I also offer flat rate real estate services so you can still keep the tens of thousands of dollars in your pocket. Let's chat. Your home, your equity, your move. Let's do it.